Hey, Force.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Welcome to Star Wars Uplink, your source for everything Star Wars gaming. Each week, your hosts will go over the news, updates, and more that have been happening in the galaxy far, far away. Come join us and our community of like-minded fans as we dive deeper into Star Wars games, past, present, and future, Star Wars lore, and the new shows and movies as they get announced and released. Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Uplink. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, and as always, I'm joined by Sydney Laurel. How are you doing?
Hi.
Star Wars, man. I'm like so pumped. I don't know what it is, but like there is a new spark of Star Wars fire that has been lit inside of me.
In your belly.
It's just fun. It's fun to be a Star Wars fan again. We're getting the shows, the movie. I feel like I said this last week, but I am. I'm so excited. It's so good to have a revival of the podcast as well, because we took a couple months there of a break just to figure it out, and I just needed to rebuild my joy of Star Wars. You know, sometimes you just got to take a break and rebuild it.
Absolutely.
We went through the turmoil of Battlefront 2's cancellation and ending of that. And I'm still recovering from that. I've got like PTSD and just so much emotional damage that has been done to me around that game.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited about Star Wars games now.
Nice to be kind of helped out with some good old nostalgia and great content. So
nostalgia, excitement around new releases, things are happening, announcements, Star Wars shows, all the shorts that we've been doing on the channel have just been fantastic to get my mind around Star Wars in a deeper level, because I used to be super into the movies as I've always been in the movies, but I used to be super into the books and the lore and all of that stuff. Yeah. And now kind of just jumping back in and getting this understanding, researching on Wikipedia so we can make all of these videos, reading the scripts that Dinko makes. Like it's such a fun time doing all of I've been doing a bunch of fan fictions, did a 16-part series. They're all short, so they're like a minute each, but like a 16-minute series on what if Mace Windu survives. So if you haven't watched that, definitely check out our YouTube channel.
You're stepping into my area of fan fiction.
Yeah, stepping on your toes a little bit. So like it's just super fun. I'm starting a new series, fan fiction around what if Anakin had won the duel between Obi-Wan and himself on Mustafar. What are some of the repercussions that are going to happen there? So that's been fun. I did the first episode. I was like, oh, we'll see. This may just be a one-off thing, but now I'm like super excited about exploring that
I could definitely see that going pretty far.
Right? Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. And then the next one, I'm trying to like, I had a little tease on the end of I'm titling the first season of the Mace Windu fan fiction that I've been doing. A tease about Republic Commandos. So I want to do like a fan fiction kind of thing around Republic Commandos, because I think they could be really cool stories, and also them hunting down Mace Windu could lead to just some cool ideas. Dingo's been playing around with some Thrawn fan fiction ideas. So if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, we have two. One is Star Wars Uplink Shorts, and we surpassed 30,000 subscribers on that, which is mind-blowing. We've been doing the podcast. I have been podcasting this year 8 years.
Wow.
This will be the 8th year of podcasting.
Wow.
That's insanity.
2 more and you're at 10.
Right?
You'll have to do something big.
Good gravy. So having all of this experience and all this time working in the Star Wars like content creation space, and all the people that I've met and all of the things that we've done, we've recorded, this will be 246 episoes of the podcast, and we're going to be celebrating our 7th year in November of this year. Like what are these numbers? We have over 350,000 downloads of the podcast. Just want to just take this time and thank all of you listeners for sticking with us. Some of my best friends have come from this podcast. So I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to continue doing this podcast and being so receptive too of Sydney joining the show. So it's been great to just see that feedback. And if you do have feedback on the format of the show, if there's some things that we can adjust, let us know, because we're always interested in hearing from your perspective and making it a more enjoyable experience for you to listen to. We've taken into account tons of feedback through the process of doing this podcast. So greatly appreciate any of that. But now let's hop in and talk about Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which is looking to hopefully break the curse of all of the games that I've been excited about, like completely stumbling. So let's jump right into that.
Just you reconsider playing that message for him.
Star Wars, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. My goodness,
Yeah.
I am so happy that they've been taking this time and delaying it for over a year plus now. It was supposed to come out in 2020. They delayed it. It was supposed to come out in spring of 2021. Delayed it. Supposed to come out in April 5th, and it looks like it's actually going to happen. Oh my gosh, this game is huge.
I cannot get my mind around the scope of this game.
Yeah, like before we recorded today's episode, we hopped on and watched a bunch of videos kind of breaking down all of the things that were in the trailer.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So if you're not aware of it, if you're not keeping up to date on all the things, we're here for you. They released a behind-the-scenes kind of short documentary promotional video on the Lego channel, I think it is, detailing the process behind Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, showing some new footage, showing some new mechanics. We saw a more detailed look at the mumble mode, which I'm so pumped for, especially like the more I hear of the voice acting that they have in there, the less excited I am around that side of things. Yeah, because like one, it's just kind of cheap imitations. I understand the skill and the process that these voice actors take. I have done voice acting myself for a number of projects. So I understand that process and understand that these are characters we've lived with for our entire lives.
Yeah.
So there is that familiarity that we have ingrained with us, that even if there is something slightly off, you're going to notice it. So that's why I'm going to play with mumble mode on.
Heck yeah.
Hopefully it is a default. Like you don't have to unlock it.
Yeah.
Like that would suck.
It would be really sad
If you have to
go
unlock it.
through,
Especially
like, the
with
whole
how much
thing.
they're promoting it. Like everything
Yeah.
that they've teased so far has been around mumble mode.
Yeah. It's got to be there from the beginning. Surely.
Right?
It looks like it's right there in a...
Mm-hmm.
in
It does. It looks like it's
settings,
automatically
yeah.
unlocked. I hope so.
Yeah.
So pumped. So pumped.
Considering how much they're talking about it, I feel like people might get mad if it's not right there, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah. Also, when this game comes out, I will be streaming it nightly.
excellent.
So pumped. Ordered an Xbox Series S for the studio, so it's gonna be ready, prepared. So freaking excited about this game. If you can tell already.
Yeah.
So
It's a little difficult, so it was a good thing you said something.
I know. I have troubles expressing my feelings sometimes, so I understand how you may not understand the full breadth of my excitement around this game.
Right, exactly. No, we needed that clarification.
They talked about the fidelity of this game, and OMG, they have, how many did they say? They had like tens of thousands of models that they designed for this game, tens of thousands of textures that they had designed of this game, unique models. They specifically pointed out the capital ships and some of the locations are made up of entirely Lego pieces, which you think, oh, that's kind of normal for a Lego game, right? Actually, no. A lot of them are like the locations are somewhat Lego inspired, but they are still not Lego pieces. With like Lego aspects on it. Usually in the past games, if it's made out of Lego, you can usually break it. But these are like the sets themselves. They showed a shot of the Starkiller base and the walls, the floors, everything is made out of Lego. the giant capital ships and their interiors are made out of Lego. Some of the worlds are made out of Lego, depending on if it's accurate or most. It kind of seemed like if it was like a hard textured location, metal or something like that, it was usually made out of Lego.
Right. They made it sound like they had these Lego engineers in the background just like making
That's
these
what it
things.
looked
And I'm
like.
pretty sure they did. Like,
Yeah.
I am pretty confident that if you broke one of their, like they made these things.
Yeah.
And then they just piece by piece figured out
Or
how to
scanned.
make it.
Probably they built it, scanned it, or they built it in. I know a lot of the Lego designers have the software that they can design Lego sets with. So they have like a library of pieces.
Oh, wow.
And they probably exported that as like a file that Travelers Tales, the development company, could actually use and implement in their game, and then maybe even adjusted it even further. But they even said like some of the characters and creatures that are gonna be in this game, which
Yeah. Sounds like there's a lot.
that's also new to the series of like basically NPC creatures.
Yeah.
So kind of fleshing out the world even more. They're going to have the NPC characters, but they're also going to have these animals and creatures that are going to be walking around dependent on the world that you're in.
Right.
They have like these monkeys that are from Yavin, and while there are no real counterparts to these, like in Lego sets, they
Yes.
design them with the idea of, okay, these are the limitations that we would face if we were to make this character, which is so cool. To
Right.
me.
It's so good. It speaks to the craftsmanship that they are really putting into this game.
Mm-hmm.
And that just makes me happy. Like, I don't care if it just doesn't play well, it's still going to be beautiful, and it's going to there's so much love that was put into this game. You can tell already.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited.
It is going to be extremely difficult for me to leave Coruscant when that becomes available. Yeah. It's if you're going to be watching the stream, which you totally should be. There's probably going to be a few episodes of that stream completely dedicated to exploring the world of Coruscant.
For sure.
We haven't had this in a game experience, especially to this scale, ever. And even like in the movies and the TV shows, we haven't got that full exploration of Coruscant since the prequels. And those movies are turning over 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. And the Clone Wars, a little bit.
Yeah, they did a little bit. I'd say that's probably the biggest kind of exploration of Coruscant that we've had. But even that's like, it's getting up there in age too.
It's true.
Because that was that 2000 or 2010s, right? I think.
I haven't watched it until recently, so I was not in the loop.
We watched it as it was coming out, and I didn't like the animation style.
Yeah, I could see that.
So it took me, like, we watched a lot of the earlier seasons as they came out on Cartoon Network, I believe. Wasn't a huge fan, but kept up to date on it. And then when it ended, took a bit of time away from it, and then watched it again. We watched it with my dad, and he loves the Clone Wars animation show.
Really?
He loves it. He loves the prequels. He likes the prequels more than the originals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he grew up with the originals. So,
Yep.
Yeah. But he loves the Clone Wars animation shows, so it's something that we always enjoyed watching. We'd go upstairs in our room, and we'd watch Clone Wars before bed.
Aw.
Yeah, so this level of appreciation for it is just fantastic. So I love the Clone Wars now. But yeah, that's probably the extent that we've had a Coruscant, really, because they did dive into it more than most other mediums.
Yeah.
But I'm so pumped to be able to explore it,
Exactly.
control my little Lego character, and make him go to wherever.
Yeah.
And just the amount of characters available. Max Rebo, which is the lady on the band in in Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Crazy. Like, what?
You can play as Jabba. You can play as a Gonk droid. Like, the amount of fun and the amount of variation, like, definitely going to be replaying these games and each of the levels with these different characters.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're going to unlock different paths. Like, the replayability of this game is going to be unmatched.
Yeah.
They're also expanding on the gunplay abilities, which looks as tight as like a first-person shooter or third-person shooter.
Definitely.
The amount of different mechanics that they're playing around with. They also touched on split screen, and split screen will be a static split screen, which I'm happy about because I always got confused with the dynamic split screen.
Yes.
It's something that they're pretty much the only people that ever tried to do. Like as you got closer, it became full screen, but it was really janky and you could easily break it. And
you can only go so far. Yep.
But yeah, they're just going to have solid split screen co-op, and you can explore worlds separately.
Yeah.
Which, how is that's the level of technology that we're in now.
Technology and the level of they thought that through because these worlds are so big. Like,
yeah,
they're like, yeah, we want people to be able to be in totally different places in the same place. It's like, oh my gosh.
I wonder what the extent of that will be. I wonder if could I be playing a level and then you be playing a different level?
Right.
I don't necessarily think you could, but it's probably tied to the free roam, I would assume. Because a lot of these levels are made with the thought of co-op as well.
I gotcha.
Like it's something that they think of instead of like an afterthought usually.
Yeah. Like when they were showing the Battle of the Heroes, you could see C-3PO and R2-D2 in the background.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wonder if that would be like the co-op kind of thought through that. Do you think?
You could probably select those characters, but like usually there's more than two characters in a scene, or they'll add another character because they set up these levels to where like some areas are only accessible to droids, some areas are only accessible if you have a force, if you're a repairer, blah blah blah. Like they're gonna have different paths,
right?
But yeah,
I was just curious because I know in like Lord of the Rings, there's certain situations where it seems like it's only a one person thing, but the other person, like in co-op, you're able to do something else as the. Do you think they're gonna have that set up as well? Like, do you think they'll think that through and be able to like have these like one-on-one moments, be able to
like one person stands here and the other person acts on something?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the AI for the other characters, if you are playing solo, which again, a lot of people are going to be playing solo, especially during lockdowns, COVID, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't confirm anything around online co-op, so it's kind of disappointing. But hey, it's Traveler's Tales. Like,
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
It seems like online co-op is just really difficult to get right. So better that they focus on what they know instead of trying something else out that they don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pumped for this game. Like, I can't believe it. We're getting so close and more details are coming out. They're definitely ramping up the marketing machine, and we're seeing a lot more activity now, which is great. I'm so pumped. With that, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back to talk about Sydney's journey into more Star Wars games.
This podcast is a production of Uplink Media Group. Uplink is a podcast network dedicated to highlighting the love and experience of gaming and pop culture. Check out our other shows, The Battlefield Show, Star Wars Uplink, and The Forge, the Halo Infinite podcast, as well as our YouTube channels for even deeper dives into Battlefield, Star Wars, and more. YouTube.com/Uplink podcast and StarWarsUplink.com.
Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
Okay, Sydney. We built you a PC earlier in 2021. I replaced more of my PC than I originally intended. I basically have a new PC now.
Yes.
All the fun stuff. New case, graphics card, even motherboard, really. The only thing I kept are like the fans and the cooling. But from the wreckage of my PC build.
Hardly wreckage.
We built you a gaming PC.
Practically brand new.
Pretty much. Yeah. 2-year-old graphics card and CPU, which because of chip shortages and all that stuff are worth way more than they used to be, which it's a crazy world we're living in. But we built you a PC. You've been playing a little bit of some games. We played a little bit of SWTOR. But
just a pinch.
We had like one single like piece of salt granule that we played on SWTOR. But you finished a game that you started earlier, but now you're going to dive deeper into the world of Star Wars games.
Indeed.
Expand your knowledge. How are you approaching this? Like, what are some of the things that you're thinking? I know you're going to start with The Force Unleashed, which it's a great choice.
Thank you. I vaguely remember you.
I played through the whole game in one stream.
You did play through, and I remember seeing it and being like, I really shouldn't be watching this.
Mm-hmm. I remember you messaged me and you're like, I'm not going to watch a whole lot of this because I want to play this game myself.
Right. So, and I feel like that's with just about all of these games that you're playing, especially KOTOR now. And
KOTOR's so good.
Oh no, I really need to play this now. Really, my tactic is whatever game I have, I will play.
Yeah, so you have Force Unleashed.
Mm-hmm. And that's about it right now.
Yeah, but you also have a lot of them on physical disc. And I have most of them on my Steam accounts, which we can get you signed up with. And I have a bunch on my Xbox.
Right.
So we've got some ways. But you're starting with what was your process with like jumping in with The Force Unleashed first?
Really just the availability of having it. Mm-hmm. I want it, actually.
Yeah, Dinko was giving away in the Fallen Order stream that I did, where I played for like 16 hours straight, finished the entire game in one stream. Dinko was like, "Hey guys, I got some Steam keys here. Enter and we'll do a random draw." So we did that, and you won.
I did. It's like the first time I've ever won anything.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yep. It was completely random. It wasn't like...
This was not like, okay, no one's on here and Cindy's here. Here you go. And it wasn't like...
No, I think we had like over 20 entries or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's not because I'm your wife now.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
There's no bias here. It was literally random.
Yeah, I think Dinko put it in like a random number generator. It was like, boop. Okay. Cindy's got it.
Woohoo! So now I am feasting upon my rewards, and I am actually playing the game. So
yeah, what are your hopes for it?
My hopes?
Yeah, like you saw a little bit of the stream. So what are some of the expectations of what you saw and what you know of it? Like, what do you know of The Force Unleashed so far?
So far I know it starts with Vader, and I know it follows this one dude.
Yeah, Starkiller.
That's his name.
Yep.
Oh. I didn't know that. That's kind of an odd name. Why?
So when that game came out, we played it on Wii, and it was like we didn't have a whole lot of games.
What?
Yeah, it came out on Wii.
What?
It was great. It had motion controls and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so you had like the nunchuck and the Wiimote that you could actually like when you swung it, you swung your lightsaber, and it was super awesome.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, when you think about it, the Wii was the perfect machine for a Star Wars lightsaber game.
That is true. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we played it on that, and oh man, I don't know how many times we replayed it because like there weren't a whole lot of games like Force Unleashed that came out on the Wii.
That's
so
for
like
sure.
when a game like that came out, we played the crap out of it.
Yeah. Starkiller. Man, I can't get over his name.
That's when like it was like Starkiller based. I was like, are they bringing in the Force Unleashed to Star Wars? Oh my gosh!
Yep. So now I'm gonna be real confused. Like Starkiller, what? Him? No, the base? No, the what? Anyway, but that's about it. That's really all I know. Other than like, I know it's mostly dark side based. I think. Or is there a choice?
You can have a dark side ending. You have a light side ending. Yeah, there are different endings you can get.
No,
yeah.
It's a choice one.
And then there's I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but they did have like a Sith version.
I think that's the version I have.
Yeah. So there is expanded options of the Sith side of things as well.
Well, then I guess I have to go dark side so that I can...
Yeah, but there are choices that you can make.
I hate choices. Don't give me choices,
It's
people.
fun. So that's another reason why we replayed it so much, because we wanted to get those different endings.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And it's also not a long game. My stream was like 9 hours, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good for a completion, and I got stumped on a few of them.
Yeah.
And the game crashed on me a few times and lost some of my progress. Oof. So, yeah. That's one of the issues with it on PC is it's a little janky sometimes.
Oh, good. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, audio's really weird in it on PC as well.
Okay.
Like there was, for some reason they haven't fixed it, probably because of publishing rights and all that fun stuff. But it's missing some of the audio files in the Steam version.
Oh, really?
And there's a way that you can go through and add them back into the game, but I didn't really want to because I was about to start.
Yeah.
Actually, I was mid-game, and they were like, oh, hey, something's really weird with the audio. Jacked around with it a little bit, looked up, like, oh, okay, it's just an existing issue they know about and are not going to fix.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it'll still be fun. I'll
So
get the gist.
You're going to play through The Force Unleashed. What do you think you're going to do next?
I would love to get into SWTOR, but someone is slowing us down.
I've been wanting to hop on it again, but like, so much time
It's true.
needed.
Yeah. It's a little grindy.
Yeah. I tweeted about this today, but I was like, when a game review comes in and it's like, well, I played 40 hours of the game and I feel like I'm just getting started.
Yep.
That's a no from me, dog. That's not the kind of game I'm interested in. Sorry. You have fun with it. I was reading a review on Elden Ring, which wasn't really sold on it anyway. See what the review's about.
Is it being like tested now?
It's
or
about to
what?
release. I think it releases in 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it's February 25th that it releases. Yeah. So I
Didn't
was looking
realize
at.
it was so far through.
It's getting a lot of fantastic reviews. It's got like a 97 on Metacritic or something like
Wow.
that. Everyone's giving it like 9 out of 9s, 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s. Whatever their ranking is, it's probably really close or the top rating.
Yeah.
Just surprising considering how hyped this game has been for so long. George R.R. Martin's been involved with it in terms of the world building. It's from Software, so they do the Souls games, so Dark Souls. So it's that kind of gameplay style, and I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of gameplay style. It's also extremely difficult, which also adds to the length of time it takes to get anywhere because you're doing the same mission over and over again because the bosses are really difficult.
Yeah.
But apparently the world is really fun and easy to explore, and you can run away from those bosses if you get into them. So like, again, it's just like so many things are adding up to that where I'm just like, I'm not really feeling it myself. I'll watch like recaps and videos of it on YouTube for sure. How did we get here?
Well, we were talking about like grindy
Yeah,
stuff
SWTOR, that's
and
how we
SWTOR,
did.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
spending
you want,
40 hours to get
Yeah.
a little, like a couple levels up.
or spending a lot of money like
Yes.
is normal in an MMO game.
Yes.
I'm going to use this booster, and all of a sudden I'm rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to play more SWTOR. In terms of the older Star Wars games, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I didn't realize I had this whole library
Oh,
open
this
up to me.
freaking amount of Star Wars games available on Steam is insane.
I'm just talking about what you have because I didn't
I
realize.
have all of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
I bought the
then.
bundle that had all of them.
Do you have
when it
any
was on sale.
recommendations? Do you think where I am, the game, like the Force Unleashed, do you
I
think
think
that's a good
Force
start?
Unleashed is a good one to have under your belt.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy games, obviously good. KOTOR, 100%. You should
Yeah,
play KOTOR.
that's probably the next one I'll play.
Yeah, KOTOR's great. KOTOR 2 is fantastic as well. Rogue Squadron games are good. I really like the Rogue Squadron games. They're some of my favorites. Yeah, maybe we'll put together a list of kind of like the direction.
Yeah.
If you're just getting in deeper into Star Wars games, we'll make a list for you. I
Yeah,
think that'd be
that sounds
good.
good.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of review what we've played and yeah.
Yeah, because I again, a number of years ago, I had the option of backwards compatibility, and that was fantastic for my expansion of playing through Star Wars games I didn't get to play through.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, I've said this before, not all of the Star Wars games made it to Nintendo consoles, and that's what we had growing up. We had a GameCube, and then we had the Wii. And both of those consoles didn't get a whole lot of games from other developers. I think we talked about that before, but yeah, let's go dive a little bit deeper. What are some of the past experiences that you have? We've touched on it before, and I think when we first brought you on the podcast, we talked a little bit about your history. But like, what are some of the other games that you have experience with? I know we've mentioned it a lot of times, but the AOE Star Wars clone.
Yes, and I had to look it up. The name.
It's like Galactic
Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
it's so good. Honestly, I haven't played it in probably 10 plus years.
I think it's on Steam.
It probably is.
I think I have it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would be a little surprised if you did. But anyway, it's a great game. And we played it. Ooh, this was long, long ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, it was probably one of the first games that we started out with as far as like just getting into video games anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Computer games, actually.
It's only $6 on Steam.
That's pretty good. You gonna get
Yeah.
it? So it was probably one of our first games, that and Star Wars Pod Racer.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
such a
good.
great game.
I really don't know how we got those games. I want to say they were were you ever did they do this thing where they had computer games in cereal boxes?
Yes.
So we got so many good games from that, and I think we might have gotten 1 or 2 of those.
Really?
Yeah. I know we got Roller Coaster Tycoon. It was fantastic. We were hooked on that game for a long time. But yeah, I feel like we might have gotten one of those through that. But anyway, what a great time in life getting computer games in cereal boxes.
Now
Awesome.
you just get a code to enter to win something in cereal boxes.
Crazy times.
Kids these days, back in my day, we got actual CDs and DVDs in our cereal boxes.
But no, after Star Wars Pod Racer and Galactic Battlegrounds, it was kind of a dry time for like Star Wars gaming in my household.
The dark times.
Yes, indeed. Until probably, probably until I got my Xbox that I got. Jedi Academy, Commando, and Jedi Academy 2?
I think so.
Was it 2?
Yeah. Yeah. I think those are the ones that we have at the house.
Yeah. Oh, and I got Jedi Outcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. Oh my
so
gosh.
That
may be the one I do on stream next.
Yeah. So good.
Did that at KOTOR too.
Yeah. Maybe take a break from KOTOR or something.
Yeah.
Do something a little different.
I think so.
Spice it up.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. Just those sorts of games. So a little variation. I've got a racing game, a strategy game, and then just kind of, I don't know what you call those. Like third person
RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Story-based games.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Are there? I feel like most other games for Star Wars are going to be the RPGs. Like I feel like that's about
probably the biggest spread. I mean, there's the Battlefront games, which I definitely think you should play through the campaigns. They're pretty short.
True.
They're not canon, but they add a little extra flavor to them. I think the second one, I think, is the 501st Journals. So you play through the journals of the 501st, which are the Clone Legion that eventually becomes Anakin's Stormtrooper Legion.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so kind of them through Order 66.
Nice.
So, and then I think the first one I believe it is the first one you can play, and there's a level where you play as Anakin, and you can kill younglings. Like you can go in there and just slaughter them all. It's great.
That's horrible.
So realistic.
Wow. The violence.
It's great.
It's realistic for sure. Wow.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be on that list of games. Like it's just one of my favorite series. period. It's so good. So good. Definitely highly recommend. Again, it's not going to drastically affect your relationship to Star Wars as a whole,
Right.
or add anything deep in terms of like a narrative aspect of it, but it's a fun journey, and you also get to experience Battlefront.
Yeah. Yeah, it should
Did
be
you ever
good.
play Battlefront?
No. Nope. Which is kind of crazy.
Right?
I remember,
That seems like you and your sisters, like,
I vaguely remember like seeing my cousins play it.
okay. Cousins, man. They always have Battlefront.
They do. They're the ones with all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know. So we want what we cannot have.
Yeah, so I'm excited for you to dive deeper into the Star Wars games and add to your knowledge around the Star Wars games as well. See your perspectives as you're playing through these, especially like not having nostalgia for them.
Yeah.
And like seeing them as a first-time player is going to be a cool perspective on the podcast too. I'm over here with like my nostalgia, in my nostalgia bubble, and you're like, actually, Sage,
Like, hang
that
on.
wasn't like that.
Yeah. Take the rose glasses off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah, good.
I'm excited for the list.
Yeah, that'll
Then
be great.
we can go through my experiences.
Checklist.
With whatever. Yeah, with all the things I'm going through.
Yep.
Be like, this is bad.
Sydney's update corner.
Yep. Update. I'm now on part 2 of this game. So yeah, should be good.
Looking forward to it. I think that's it for this episode of the podcast. Thank you all so much for listening to another episode of Star Wars Uplink. Greatly appreciate your feedback, your listening to the show. Hopefully you're as hyped as I am around LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. It's going to be so amazing. Really looking forward to it. I'm going to be covering it all on the podcast and the YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe, follow the podcast, subscribe, and your podcast feed completely free. So you don't even have to worry about it. And you'll get updates of the podcast just automatically downloaded in your favorite podcast app. If you want to help us out, definitely do consider leaving us a review or rating us on Spotify. Helps a ton, gets us your feedback, and also gets us higher in the search of iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that fun stuff. So definitely helps us out a ton. Also sharing it with your friends, have your Star Wars friends, your buddies, whatever. We'd love it if you gave us a share and recommended us to someone you know or your followers, all those fun stuff. Once again, if you'd like to get in contact with us, which we'd love to hear your feedback, contact@uplinkpodcast.com. We'll cover it on the show. Anyway, thanks for listening, and as always, may the Force be with you.